Hello viewers, welcome to our lecture series on Indian ethos in management, and today we are going to continue our discussion on the topic of organizational development and ODM, that is called Organizational Development and Management, and this is going to be part 4 of our lectures on this topic of total capital approach. Previously I told you about ERPS framework for ODM and what is VSP model, and we have discussed it in great detail. We also had a discussion on ODM and institution building. And now we will be talking about grounded praxis approach to strategic management, that what exactly this grounded praxis approach is and what are the nuances to this grounded praxis approach. This is what we will be discussing today. But prior to that, we need to have a recapitulation of what we have discussed till now. We talked about the summary of ODM tools, where at strategic level, managerial level and operational level, we had discussed about different types of requirement of management, and accordingly we have been using different tools. So as I told you that at managerial level we need to go for decision making, and for that we have strategic tools like Cinematrix, anti-benchmarking, non-linear thinking, and many other tools which are there into our kitty. And when we go at operational level, our objective is, our requirement is problem solving, and for that we have managerial SPSS, we have decision circles and many such techniques which are there into our toolkit. So my dear learners, why I am telling you, why I am recapitulating this entire list of strategic tools which we are using in ODM, because we need to differentiate among these three levels, that according to the level of management, whether it is operational, managerial or strategic, our requirement differs. And if our requirement differs, then of course our tools are also supposed to be different, because at strategic level we are confined to the visioning or envisioning of the entire business organization. We have to create a draft document for the vision, mission and goals of an organization, and in that we are using tools like wishbone analysis, mind pooling, spot analysis and many other tools. So my dear learners, this is basically to give you a brief outlook of why are we using different tools and techniques under this ODM as a strategic as a part of strategic management. And when we talk about dimension of the new age organizational model, at the level of organization, our guiding concept is value creation and values enhancing companies. Reach out to its stakeholders. We have to reach out to each and every stakeholder, because gone are the days when we used to think of only the investors or only the shareholders as the stakeholder. Now we have to take care of all the stakeholders, and we need to bring a parity among all. We cannot discount the significance of any of the stakeholders who are actually into our structure or into our circle. So we have to understand that my guiding concept at organizational level is creation of values. There are different models even in the Western philosophies which are given, and one among that is, which is very popular, is Porter's 5 forces model, where we are talking about the value chain and all. So is the case of Indian ethos. There also we are finding the significance of creation of values and value enhancing companies. We are actually we have a vision of creating those companies or such type of companies which are value oriented, which can reach out to each and every stakeholders. If we talk about structure, we have open matrix or network structure there as a guiding concept, and when we look at the CEOs, the chief executive officers, now we are going to redefine this entire acronym, this entire designation in Indian ethos in management. We talk about creative, enlightened and organic managers or leaders. So they are no more confined to execution only. They are basically regarded as the enlightened officers, and that enlightenment is not something which is coming abruptly. It is organic in nature. So we are talking about creative, enlightened and organic leaders, and this is giving a new impetus to the entire definition and implementation of CEOs in the Indian corporate scenario. To be very specific, and if we talk about the general corporate scenario, there also it is applicable. So now the role of CEOs, that is supposed to be of creative in nature. You have to be creative, you have to be enlightened, you have to dream of an organization which is growing organically. which is not going for creating profit for 1 year or so or 2 years or so, and later on you are booking loss, or you are somehow trying to gain to show some short term gains to the company so that you can attract investors, and later on you are vanishing or your image vanishes. So that is not the purpose here. So we are talking about corporate sage, we are talking about corporate rishis, we are talking about the hermit and the counselor. So this is the new role and the extended role, or I would say here rather that it is a real role of the CEOs, that you have to understand that you are not there to earn money only, you are not there to draw your salary only. You have to go for creating an organization which is sustainable, which can sustain for long run. So when we talk about the operations, the mode of operation by that kind of CEOs, they are supposed to be inspirational rather than motivational. Earlier we were talking about the theories of motivation, that you have to follow certain theories of motivation and then your employees are motivated, your goals are being fulfilled. But here you have to behave like an inspirational personality. You have to take care of your team, your employees, and you are supposed to be the trendsetter. You have to beat your best what you have created, not only the others but your also. Whatever best you have created, you have to beat your best also. So every time you have to go for anti benchmarking, which is actually the genesis, or which is actually the genesis of this entire discourse on the topic of organizational development and management. We cannot think of an organizational development unless we have the capacity, unless we have that inner desire to accept our own mistakes, that last time this was not my good, this was not my best, and this time I am trying to give my best. And employees here, they are supposed to be regarded as knowledge units, and all these things we have discussed in detail. I am only focusing on some of the important aspects, because I have to tell you about the management theory, where the theory T is getting prominence, and we are talking about touch of transcendence. We are talking about transcendental leadership. We have 5 different forms of capital. We have inspirational symbols as our cultural symbols, and that is the new reality. So the entire discourse, the entire discussion is going to take a paradigm shift when we look at the Indian ethos in management. So my dear learners, we have to understand that Indian ethos is very much rich, very rich and valuable in terms of sustainability. So we have to understand that there is a need for the concept of corporate sage now. We need corporate rishis who are actually devoid of any grudges, grievances or vengeance against their employees, their team members. They have to be neutral in terms of their behavior. They should have, in Indian mentality we call it Shuddha Satvik Sneh. We talk about the purity, we talk about the impartiality, that you have to be impartial. Regardless of the person who is coming in front of you, you have to consider each and every employee at par with. So we have to emphasize here that a new ranking mechanism could radically, after this definition of ODM, is going to be the order of the day when we talk about the holistic development index. We have been talking about human development index, but now it's time for us to have a discussion on the holistic development index, and that is going to make our companies more sustainable. And not only companies, even this framework can be used for the national perspective also. At national level also we can make good use of this entire discourse. Now moving ahead to the core of today's lecture, that is, what is grounded praxis approach to strategic management. We all understand that in strategic management we are there to win some position where there is a situation like war, and we have to go for defeating our competitors. But here, unlike the Western philosophy there, where we talk about competing for the future, where we talk about competing or taking the route of cutthroat competition, here we talk about cooperation. In grounded praxis approach to management, there is a strong linkage between the two perspectives. One is what is the macro perspective, and second one is what are the grounded realities. So grounded reality cannot be ignored. We cannot say that this is my vision, this is my mission, this is my goal, and you have to achieve it somehow, anyhow you have to achieve, by hook or by crook. We cannot go for prescribing this kind of implementation of strategy in any organizational setup. We have to understand, my dear learners, that grounded the ground reality where we have to work, we should be aware of that. We cannot ignore that. You cannot expect from your workforce, from your employee, to achieve the goals without understanding the ground reality. And this is the difference between the vision and action. If you want your employees to be action oriented, you have to include the ground realities into your vision. So while drafting the vision document, it becomes imperative for you to include your employees from operating level as well. Some people say that what is the point of calling operating level employees in drafting your vision, mission and goals? Let them implement that, let them execute whatever we are prescribing. So the strategies and vision cannot be created in your air conditioned rooms. You have to come out of those air conditioned room and look into the ground realities, that in this background, in this reality, my employees are supposed to work. Then only you can think of action oriented organizations. So the attempt here is to narrow down the visa gaps. When I say visa gaps, I am talking about the vision, strategy and action plans, where VI stands for vision, S stands for strategies and A stands for action plans. So we have to reduce, rather I can say we have to eliminate any type of gap among vision, strategies and action plans. So there should not be any gap between your vision, strategy and action plan. If you really wish that your whatever you have drafted as your vision document and you wish to achieve that, if you want that it should be achievable, if you want that it should be actionable, then you have to take care of the ground realities also while deciding and defining the targets for your workforce. You cannot become inhuman, you cannot decide your strategies in isolation. So it may be reflected here, my dear learner, that the grounded praxis approach to management, it actually incorporates the concept of forward engineering. And here we talk about the new strategy which is actually the core of Indian ethos in management. So the concept of forward engineering, that need to be included into this entire discourse of grounded praxis approach, where we incorporate the concept of forward engineering into our strategies. And this forward engineering, what it does, how it works, how it performs, it actually offers a foundational premise for your for the strategic gearing of your organization. And while doing so, it keeps in view the existing and new capabilities with regard to the challenges in the present day environment. So whatever challenges we are facing in today's world, in the light of those challenges, you are actually finding a foundational premise in the name of forward engineering. Because unless your foundation is strong, you cannot go for implementing this entire idea of organizational development and management, which is here into this, where the approach is called grounded praxis approach. So this approach actually acts as an integrator. It integrates the forward engineering and ODM and also the EPIS, that is enterprise performance improvement systems. So gone are the days when we used to talk about MIS only, that we have a management information system and the work is going to be done. In place of that, we want enterprise performance improvement system, which is known as EPIS, with ground realities. So EPIS is having another append on concept called ground realities. So we have to stay aware of the ground realities, that see, in this environment we have to work. Among these challenges, my workforce is supposed to operate, and without that you cannot achieve the goal of your organization, which your organization has decided in the name of your vision. So grounded praxis approach actually offers us an interlinkage between the division, division and direct vision. So when we talk about the vision document or division, when we are going for classifying, it can be looked at from different perspectives. We have one word, division. Now, when we say division, we are going to divide work among employees. That is the first step, that is a basic step. But whether we have gone for division, whether we have gone for looking at it from the direct vision, so these approaches for problem solving and your decision making, it is something which is missing in the Western philosophy. And here comes the Indian ethos in management to our rescue. It offers us the multi-dimensional strategy to integrate whatever we are doing, whatever we are implementing in our organization in the name of vision, mission, target or goals, whether it is decided or drafted in the light of ground realities or not. Suppose there is a shortage of raw material into your organization and you have decided to produce that product into your company. Do you think that you will be able to achieve? Answer is no. Suppose if you require, another example of labor, suppose you require a specific skill set into a given operation of your company. There is a process in which you require a specific skill set and your employees are not trained enough for that skill set. Do you think that you will be able to implement, you will be able to emerge as an action oriented organization? Answer is no. And even if you somehow try to do it forcibly by your employees, it may actually result into different other types of problems. It may cause the higher attrition rate. In future your employees may leave. Because without training, if you are putting them, if you are employing them, deploying them on a specific site, then of course they'll not be able to give their best. And later on that would be reflected into their incentives, their payments, their promotions, and the entire HR department would be after that employee. So we have to understand the ground reality, that whatever I am deciding, can I achieve that? So here we have to understand that division approach is useful at the operational level, but division is needed at managerial level, and direct vision approach is needed at the level of board, or what you call as the CEOs, which I told you that in modern days these CEOs are supposed to be creative and enlightened people. They have to be enlightened one. So the three approaches which are interlinked via this grounded praxis approach indicating the management is actually a combination of science, art and wisdom. You require science, no doubt. We don't deny to the very much relevance of science. We have to accept cause and effect relationship. Nobody is denying. But at the same time, we have to perform our duties in a best manner. We have to offer the best, and that is coming from the art. But while doing these two important activities, we have to apply our wisdom also. So science, art and wisdom, all three are needed, and their integration is very much required for strategic management. So the linkage between ODM and institution building is, in this way you can establish that yes, ODM is actually helping us in institution building. And you can establish you can build an institution which is based on grounded praxis, where you don't deny to the ground realities, and further a framework of grounded praxis approach to management, wherein this forward engineering, ODM and EPIS, they actually find an integration among all three. They are finding the integration. If you wish that you have to implement, you have to ensure the effective functioning of organization in a very efficient manner, then these three important aspects, they are supposed to be integrated. So we all realize that integration is very much important. You cannot work into isolation. So my dear learners, in this way we had a brief discussion about the grounded praxis approach to strategic management and what is its role in organizational development and management. So we have to understand that this is the reason why we are talking about the Indian ethos in management with regard to what we call as organizational development and management. So this change in metaphor, which is which gives us an idea of thinking in a different manner, it is originating from this Indian ethos in management. So while concluding this entire discussion on the topic of the total capital approach or different types of capitals, we have to understand the change in metaphors. There is a need to transform the bureaucratic and mechanistic organizations to this new model, and this is something which is actually at the core. Increasingly nowadays, managers or leaders, they have started realizing that we cannot work in isolation. We cannot implement our strategies without understanding the ground realities, and not only understanding it on paper, but in reality, while defining and deciding your goals and targets for your workforce, while drafting your vision document, you should understand that these ground realities, they should find inclusion into our discussion. So this would happen when organizations are transformed to knowledge organizations, and bureaucrats are transformed into CEOs of the new age variety. So you cannot face the 21st century challenges with 15th century strategy. Can you do so? Answer is no. So if the problem is different, how can you deal with it with the same solution, with the same strategy which you have been implementing 100 years back, 200 years back? So if you are actually working in a situation to which you call as the VUCA world, where the volatility is the reality, where the uncertainty is the reality, where the change is the reality. So we have to, my dear learners, we have to accept that yes, now that it's high time for us to look into the 21st century challenges from a different perspective. And there is no problem in accepting that, because we do have strategies for dealing with those problems. In Indian ethos in management, even those age-long strategies, they are very much helpful. But the only problem is that we have been ignoring them for long. Or I can say, although if you feel that yes, we have not been ignoring it, it has been used by some of the companies, but they could not find the publicity of that level at which the Western thinkers or Western philosophers, they could position their strategies to the entire corporate world at global level. So we have to understand that this is the most appropriate metaphor for this new age organizations, and our discussion on the guiding concepts of new age organization is also in consonance with this very metaphor, where we talk about the company as a university. We consider company as a university wherein everybody is coming as a learner, be it your supervisor, be it the team leader, be it the worker at workplace, everybody is there in the learning mode. So we have to understand that this is the most appropriate metaphor for new age organizations, to consider them as a center of excellence, as a center for education, center for training, where the employees, workers, leaders, manager, everybody is being trained. And our discussion on the guiding concept of new age organization is of course in very much consonance with this matter. Another interesting metaphor which I had discussed with you, and I thought it pertinent to bring in front of you when we are concluding this topic, which is the metaphor of business ashrams, considering business units as ashrams where you are actually developing those ideas, new ideas, or new ideas every day. So competition is bound to create excellence, we all know, but whether my employees are finding different solutions, the new solutions, the creative solutions to the existing problems or not. So it is given by S.K. Chakrabarty in his study in the year 2003. And this new age organizations, they are essentially blend of these two metaphors which we have discussed just now, business ashrams and considering corporate companies as universities. So if we start considering them to be a center for excellence, center of training, center of developing something, considering it to be a place where your employees are performing in a very sacrosanctly, in a very religious manner, they are taking those ideas, those concepts, their work as duty, they are dutiful enough to perform their duties, then of course the change is bound to take place. So we observe here the change in metaphor from bureaucratic or what you call as the triangle, that is pyramid organizations, to mechanistic organizations, and to organizations as universities or gurukuls. So now it's no more a line organization where you are giving instruction from top to bottom, and they are just the abiders. They are actually the abiders of those instructions. We have to change our mindset that nobody is there at lower level and nobody is there at the top level. We should think of an organization in a horizontal manner where every person is important, where we should come out of that encasement of bureaucratic hang up, what you call, and the pyramid organizations and mechanistic organizations, they are not going to serve our purpose. Now the time belongs to organizations which are working as universities or gurukuls, where everybody is performing, not only the top management but also the operating and middle level people, they are also performing their duties. In gurukuls, we all understand that everybody is collecting resources and everybody is the user of that. So we have to understand that there is a continuous creation of knowledge. There is a continuous creation of creativity and innovation into this idea. So we have to understand that there is a need for the concept of corporate sage or corporate rishi. So in this way, my dear learners, we had discussed different colors and dimensions of organizational development and management, and here we talked about the grounded praxis approach, which is actually the soul of this entire discussion, this entire discourse, that you have to follow the corporate praxis approach. I hope you must have understood this entire discussion of the organizational development and management, and you must have enjoyed this very segment of my lectures on the topic. With this, I am concluding this topic. Thank you so much.